As if inflation weren't bad enough, low-income Oklahomans are also dealing with the sunset of a pandemic relief program that provided extra SNAP benefits to help pay for groceries. I spoke with reporter Catherine Sweeney with our content partner StateImpact Oklahoma to learn more about how this is impacting more than 500,000 Oklahomans. Catherine, explain how SNAP benefits work, exactly how many Oklahomans are receiving them, and what typically is the assistance that people receive.
So SNAP is called the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and it's to help families kind of bridge the gap to buy food. It is only for low-income families. They have to qualify based on a ton of different factors. About 700,000 Oklahomans benefit from it in some way. That's people generally, kids, adults. And the average family gets about $250 a month, again, to help them make ends meet and put food on the table.
So when the additional benefits began, what were people receiving as opposed to what they had been receiving prior to the start of the pandemic?
For some people, it was about $100 a month. But if you had a big family and you had a lot of financial challenges in that family, it could be as much as $1,000 a month, which obviously would make a really big difference for those families.
The additional benefits ended on March 1st, so now people are feeling the effects of that. And I would imagine with inflation, especially on food prices still sky high, I imagine people are hurting a little bit. What are you hearing from folks?
Luckily, some prices have come back down to earth. You know, eggs are not exorbitant anymore, but they're still not cheap. People are experiencing shrinkflation as well. Even if the price hasn't changed on things, some things are coming in such smaller packages, you have to buy more of it. It is not an easy time for anyone to put food on the table, especially low-income people, and especially with inflation, and especially with concerns about a recession going forward.
Catherine, I would imagine this is going to put an additional strain on Oklahoma's food banks as well.
There is definitely concern that that's going to happen. I talked with an economist at Oklahoma State University, and he said without this assistance, the demand on food banks throughout the pandemic would have just buried them. And this kind of gave them that break they needed for a few years. But the demand is still going to be there. It's not as bad as it was in the height of the pandemic, and it's not as bad as it was in 2020, but there are still people who are struggling, and food banks are concerned.
In addition to this change, any other changes to the SNAP program that might be coming down the pike?
So just to clarify, what we're talking about ending here are these extra payments, and they would come at the end of the month to kind of help families out with that last little bit at the end. But there's still the amount that they get every month just normally hasn't shifted, but it could be shifting this year. Congress is supposed to look at the Farm Bill around October, and they could be raising the amount of money families get every week just in their regular allotments.
And Catherine, this is not the only pandemic-related assistance program that is going to be phased out or has been phased out, is it?
For years, kids did not have to pay for their school lunches. I talked to nutrition experts in the Tulsa area, and they said, you know, per kid, that can be hundreds of dollars a year. And then if you have multiple kids in the school system, that just adds up. Also, a lot of pandemic, specifically medical relief, has dried up. People are having to pay for tests, or they're having to use their insurance for tests. The Biden administration is working toward having people have to pay for their own COVID shots. There's a lot of relief that's drying up as we kind of move out of this acute pandemic phase.
And again, that includes this program that ended on March 1st that offered additional SNAP benefits. Catherine Sweeney with the StateImpact Oklahoma. Great reporting as always. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.